Hello, everyone, and welcome to chapter 9 of Book Club. I hope you are well. I'm so glad that there was anybody in the waiting room because I don't really think about what's on when I start saying what time and when we're going to do things. And first of all, when I started doing this, somebody said, "Oh, it clashed with Bake Off," and I thought, like, I just forget that people watch things in real time. I never watch anything when it's on. And then it was Will Duggan's birthday a few days ago. I'm sure you listen to Treasures Pod if you're here. What's my camera dirty? It is, isn't it? That's horrible. Sorry about that. Trigger warning. Oh, that is clearer though, isn't it? Ooh, how mucky is the rest of my screen? Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so Will's having some birthday drinks tonight. So I thought, I really want to go to that. So I'll move this earlier. And then somebody said, "Oh, you're going up against the football." And I sort of thought, I mean, who's watching this that's also watching the football? And then I thought, Laura, don't be so whatever the word is, like judgmental. Probably lots of people like football and obscure corners of book related content. Um so but there are a few of you. I can't with the football. I It makes me really angry, actually, the way people talk about football. I hate it. It makes my blood boil. I have nothing wrong with the game. I love that people have something that they love that's accessible. But when the chat starts to turn to like, there's something in football itself that's magical and crazy, and it's a thing that turns people into heroes and makes everyone love each other. And I think, yeah, it's millions and millions of pounds, babe. There's a reason it brings people together. It's because it's funded and rammed down your throats to the point where it's the one thing that everybody of a generation knows about, and so they bond over it. Knitting would be the thing we all bonded over if it was funded and pantsed into us at school in the way that sport is. Like, I just find it mad. People are like, no, 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 it must be something special about it. It's nothing to do with the fact that at 4 years old you get it suddenly given to you in a curriculum. Anyway, makes me fuming. I just caught about 3 minutes of footage while I was sitting there having my dinner with Tom, and I just thought, like, I haven't seen a woman in any of this footage yet. And it reinforces that feeling I have of either I try and join in and I think I'm going to get this wrong somewhere and someone will mock me for it, or it's not aimed at you, love, go away. That feeling. Anyway, there you go. There's my rant for the evening. You're all chatting away in the thing. I'm better now, by the way. I'm not as ill. I've got the remnants of a little bit of a claggy throat. Oh, look, it's gone there where I ate my pasta, didn't I? But I'm not ill anymore. Justice for netball, says Mystic. Yes. I follow the women's with much more passion, says Chris. Well, I went to watch some of the women's because I thought, like, if football is going to be the most easily accessible for sport and it's everywhere, maybe I'll give it a try. And I really did. I went to see two women's games, one Lionesses and then one Brighton game. And then I did have tickets for another Brighton game, but then I got myself too hungover to go. But I would go again. I'm boycotting the World Cup too, Lady Frag, but it's very easy for me to boycott it because, as I show, I don't like it. So it would be much harder for me if they suddenly decided to put Bake Off in a place that didn't have human rights. I would struggle with, or if Strictly Come Dancing suddenly reverted from its progressive ways, that I would struggle with. So hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It was so lovely to see a few of you at the weekend in Eastbourne. I saw Chris, Claire, and Ben, and I think Raven was there, but didn't come over. But hello, away from a distance anyway. So hello, all of you guys. Claire made me some incredible earrings, and I meant to wear them, and then I've forgotten to put them on. So I'm so sorry, Claire. I really meant to wear them today, and then I got ready to go out and forgot. Right, we're going to jump into the chapter. So this story is getting away from me a bit. I mean, the problem with it is that we're now in a kind of murder mystery, except that I don't know what the mystery is going to be, and I don't know where it's going. So I need you to know that there is going to be no neat tying up of this story because I haven't set any little egg trail for us. Is it an egg trail? What is it called? Breadcrumb trail? Something? It's not an egg trail, is it? A trail of eggs. What would a trail? Oh God, this has gone wrong early, hasn't it? Um, there's no egg trail anyway of of eggs of plot. So it's sort of getting quite difficult to know what's not going to be very disappointing for you as an ending to the story because I haven't set one up. So it's just a series of adventures that we're now racing through. And I hope it's fun. Listen, we're not here for the plot, are we? So let me find, where's my accents page gone? Here it is. I had to use my notepad for official work this week, which was very boring. But I might be writing something for television, only a very short thing, but I'll tell you when and where to look out for it. But how exciting is that? I'll be a writer on a scripted thing. Anyway, chapter 9, that's where we're going to go. I'm going to cover up my own face because I had it, and then I can just see your chat there. So, chapter 8, we ended with they got back to the Russo De Luca household, and there was an envelope on the doorstep. Bum bum bum. So chapter 9. It's getting so stupid. Oh God. Okay. Chapter 9. Leah's breath caught in her throat. Who on earth knew they were there? Who on earth knew their names? Apart from Paul, who was now dead, and the Rousseau de Lucas, who seemed as shocked as they were, and the police from whom they'd just come. Oh, this is a long sentence to start the episode with, isn't it? Who wrote this dog shit? So, what's happening? Who on earth knew they were there? Who on earth knew their names? Apart from Paul, who was now dead, and the Rousseau de Lucas, who seemed as shocked as they were, and the police from whom they'd just come, and who didn't often communicate by mysterious envelopes, there wasn't really anyone else who knew both their names and where they had taken refuge since the discovery of poor Paul. God, who opens a chapter with a paragraph that's 4 lines long that's all one sentence? Do you know what this is like sometimes? It's a bit like my dad wrote a porno, except that I can't mock the writer because it was me. And it's it's not a good advert for any of my professional writing, is it? Right, Harry, I'm from Wales. Who could it be from? Harry whispered, and Leah watched him shiver. Oh, and then we've got Gina, and she's from Italy. Okay. Would it be dangerous to open it? Asked Gina, looking around at their expectant faces. Oh, that makes it sound like they've got pregnant faces, doesn't it? Looking around at their expectant faces. Leah instantly felt awful that this was happening in their family home. She felt guilty, like she'd brought their recent run of bad luck to a once happy home. Leah is me, isn't she? I don't know. Should we take it to the police station? Leah said, her voice coming out in a faint whisper. Okay, so imagine I said that but with a faint whisper. Please do not do Laura writes a porno. No, Lady Frag, I wouldn't. No. I just think it's icky to write really sexy stuff. Like Klopp actually is about as sexy as I'll ever write. If you've read Pivot, you'll know that the only sex scene in that had her thinking about laundry while it happened. So it could be nothing. Harry tried to sound chirpy. Come on, let's get in the house. Silly to stay standing on the doorstep like this. Everything is less terrifying with a cup of tea. You are sounding so British, said Larry, but he led the way through the house. Leah carried the envelope like it was going to burst into flame at any moment. Could it be full of a poison or some kind of awful substance that melted through her skin and the lovely sofa fabric? I mean, priorities, Leah. But why would anyone want to hurt them? No one here knew who they were. And even if someone did know who they weren't the sort of people who had ever done anything that would make them deserving of an envelope full of anthrax. They were outsiders in a strange village. No one had any reason to want to do them harm. Unless the fact that they were outsiders was the exact problem. Maybe someone wanted them gone. Did the murderer suspect that they had seen something from their position and so had stolen the van and now was threatening them to leave? The longer the envelope was closed, the more Leah's brain threw wild assumptions about what could have happened around in her imagination. Her imagination took the seeds and painted them with bright primary colours, making them awful fountains that chewed up her future and spat them back in a soggy mess. How far away the warm, quiet library felt now. Uh, Alex wants the envelope opened. Ooh. Leah, it's my voice. Harry, we need to open it, Leah said, focusing wide eyes on Harry's oddly calm face. It's going to drive me wild until I know what it says. Can we open it? She's channeling you, Alex. Do you know what keeps making me laugh? Is I keep looking at the accents page, and right at the top is Viv's accent, and I think we're not going back to Viv, are we? This is how I really never know what's going to happen. Is I've written down all the accents of people that you're like, well, they're not coming back. Where are we at? Larry walked back into the living room carrying 2 hot mugs of tea. What do you think, Larry? Harry asked. Gina, it's your house. If there is something in there, which I don't see why there would be, but I don't want to open it in your house. Leah shivered. Gina and Larry exchanged glances. Why are they called Gina and Larry? I mean, where would anyone even be getting a hold of something, anything like that around here? Gina looked to Larry. We are overreacting, yes? Probably, Larry shrugged. But it is always better to be cautious. All right. And so Leah and Harry found themselves in the garden, dun dun dun, with Larry and Gina cautiously staying in the house near a phone to call for help. Florence was shut in the utility room with the other dogs. Leah's hands trembled as she slid her fingers under the paper of the envelope flap. See, same kind of flap I'm writing about, and loosened the glue. Ooh, a euphemism? No, nobody would say, ooh, he loosened my glue. That's horrible. She held her breath, half out of anticipation, half out of fear, suddenly feeling her, half out of fear of suddenly feeling her airwaves close up as a mysterious substance leaked out of the paper and into her mouth. What is happening? No cloud of deathly powered, that should be powder. No cloud of deathly powder shot out of the envelope, and Leah's anxiety instantly switched to wondering if, in fact, anthrax was a powder, or perhaps it could be infused into the paper. And even by picking up the envelope, she was imbibing it through the pores in her skin. She was so far out of her depth, she was beginning to even wonder if anthrax was a real thing or something she was misremembering. There was a single sheet of paper inside the envelope, and Leah pulled it gently out, peering into the envelope to check there was nothing lurking in there that she was missing. You know, like when you get a card from your grandparents for Christmas and you're like, oh, just a card? No W.H. Smith voucher? Okay, that's what she's doing. She suddenly felt ridiculous, stood out in this garden, making such a fuss over what was probably nothing. Her back muscles relented suddenly, and the chill of the day crept. Oh, go away, WhatsApp. Ron, please. Shut up, please. Sorry, everyone. Her back muscles relented suddenly, and the chill of the day crept into the bones. She unfolded the piece of paper to reveal the handwritten letter. Curiously, it was not done in the same ink as the envelope. It was entirely written. I was just saying hello to Ron. It was entirely written in a deep scarlet ink. Bum, bum, bum! Like something from an expensive historical drama. Unexpected cameo from the Science Child. Yes, that's my other podcast, Lexx Education, which again, I imagine you already listened to. There's Ronnie Honks just saying hello. Are you there? What's he talking about? He sent me a picture. It's a meme. He's sending me a meme. Okay. See, he misbehaved something. He doesn't know we're doing anything, so he's not really distracted, is he? Read it out loud, said Harry as Leah's eyes flicked over the last few lines. Yeah, Leah said, trying to make her brain process the writing. The letters were neat, round, and compact. They looked oddly calm, which contrasted hugely with the red of their colour. Now, Leah's reading the letter, but we could do a voiceover thing if you want to choose an accent for it. Red won the vote by quite a lot, I think. It was close. Cut out letters was second. But we've got a letter here. We've got Posh coming in. Lady Frank just says no. You don't want to read the letter. All right, we won't read the letter. Don't worry about it. Australian, that could be quite fun. Yeah, I like that. I think my Greek would come out very similar to my Italian. That's 2 for Posh. Japanese, I think that's going to end up being offensive due to the history of like white people taking on Asian accents. So I wouldn't want to do that because I wouldn't want someone to hear that and have it trigger anything. Geordie, yes, somebody was just off to see Sarah Millican, so maybe we should do Geordie. It's somebody in the chat, I think it was Sarah, was saying she was just off to watch Sarah tonight. Oh, Alex says no to Geordie though. Well, Australians got my vote, but I don't really get a vote, so it's up to you. Spooky like Vincent Price. Okay, is that kind of posh? There's lots for posh here. Maybe we'll go posh. Let's go posh English then. Leah and Harry. Is that posh? No, wait, what's posh like? Darling. Okay, Leah and Harry. We have your camper van. We apologize for inconveniencing you in this manner, but there simply was no alternative. Events took a turn that no one could have anticipated, and you now find yourself in the middle of something bigger than you will ever know. We require your dog. The Queen of England has come back from the dead and stolen a camper van. What have you done? Now you've got Florence mixed up on it with your stupid votes. We require your dog. Oh God, and I even wrote it all in we. And this really works because it sounds like a first person weeing. We require your dog. Bring Florence to the abandoned quarry tomorrow night at midnight, or you will find yourself suspect number 1 in the inquiry regarding our dearly departed Paul. Do not go to the police. We know who you are. We know where you are. We also know where your loved ones are and can reach them before you. Tomorrow, midnight, bring Florence and everything you have. There we go. That worked really weirdly well as the Queen. Good work, everyone. Right, so that's now Camper Van Thief, who I don't know who it is. I wish I had a plan for who it was going to be, but we're going to find out together at the quarry, I assume, if we go there. Camper Van Thief is the Queen. That is the maddest edition I think I've ever put in the accents page. Oh, we've got Andrea says, I've been watching on the telly, but very late to the chat this week. Hello, Andrea. On Halls in Scotland and hadn't connected the laptop to the Wi-Fi. Hello. Whereabouts in Scotland are you? It would be no fun if you had a plan, Laura. No, I know. But here's what's worrying me about this story is like when I did the Emma story or even the Tingians, we kind of knew what we were working towards. You know, we had a problem that we were coming up against. Like we needed Emma to fall in love. With this one, I don't even know where we're aiming for, but it's fun. Right. So tomorrow, bring Florence. Midnight, bring Florence and everything you have. The piece of paper fluttered in Leah's hand as she finished reading and looked up at Harry. She couldn't even begin to form a coherent thought. You and me both, Leah. You're shivering, Harry said, putting an arm around her. Come on, inside. I think we've realised the letter is not going to self-destruct now. She let herself be led back in through the garden doors. Excuse me, a tiny burp there. My friend Sana bakes for a living. If you are anywhere in the Sussex area, Oh gosh, what's her anyway? Sana loves Sana's kitchen or Sana's mixing bowl. That's what it's called. It's wonderful, and her cakes are divine. And I just wolfed down a brownie before doing this, and now I'm doing tiny little brownie burps. But you didn't really need to know that. Anyway, come on inside. I think we've realised the letter is not going to self destruct now. She let herself be led back in through the garden doors. Gina and Larry were stood ashen faced, waiting for news next to the cooling cups of tea. Harry pressed a mug of tea into Leah's hands and took the letter from her to skim his eyes over it. Oh God, Italian. From Italy. Is not good news. It's not, it's just, I think I've done every accent except Italian now, isn't it? It's not good news, Gina said with a false bright note in her voice. Why would you have a bright note if you're saying it's not good news? Anyway, Leah barked a harsh single beat laugh. No, she confirmed. Is there a quarry near here? What the hell was this place? What's Larry French? Yes, Larry said, sounding surprised. Why? Harry wordlessly handed Gina and Larry the note, and they read it in their heads. And I remember writing in their heads, like, no, you bitches, I am not repeating the letter in either of their accents. So take a moment, imagine the letter happening in there. My God, said Gina. Well, that was just Borat, wasn't it? I am from Italy. Welcome. A pizza, pasta, lasagna. My God, said Gina. You cannot even be thinking about taking poor Florence. What monsters? Um, no, no, Leah said instantly. Of course we couldn't. Harry's Welsh, Wales. So what do we do? Harry asked, and Leah whipped around to look at him. Well, not take her. Leah cocked her head to one side, eyeing him carefully. Would he want to take Florence to these blackmailers? Dun, dun, dun. What about what it says about everything else? Harry waved a hand limply at the letter. Um, I don't know, Leah choked out. But we can't give them Florence. Yes, Harry nodded fervently. But if we don't give them Florence, are we giving them the rest of our families? There was silence in the room. Who is talking? Oh, it's Larry. Okay. We could go to the police. I know it says not to, but how advanced can they be? It's a handwritten note. It's probably just someone trying to scare us. Someone local covering their trail after getting caught up in Paul's killing. Larry was trying to be reasonable, but the vocal reminder that someone had died was not soothing at all. Um, uh, that must be Gina. I'm a bad writer, guys. Italy. I'm from Italy. They could be watching the house, though. If we leave, they will follow us. They knew Leah and Harry were here. They must have either seen them here since or been at the pub last night. There was a silence while they digested this information. Larry grabbed a notepad and began to list all the people who had been in the car park of the pub the night before. Names were thrown around between him and Gina that Leah and Harry had no hope of recognizing. Leah wondered which of these names was responsible for her current misery. Bum, bum, bum. I need to get the boys from school, said Larry, suddenly looking at his watch and standing up straight. I'll put the dinner on, Gina said, bustling into action. Let's not mention any of this to the boys. I don't want them to worry. She painted a falsely bright, another falsely bright thing she's doing. She's really good at this. She painted a falsely bright smile over her face and made her way to the kitchen. Leah and Harry were left alone on the sofa, staring at each other disconsolately. They had only had Florence a few days, but even if they had known her only a few minutes, Leah felt it would be impossible to hand her over to mad strangers. But what were the other options? Well, viewer, what are the other options? There's so much chat going on. I'm so excited to see what you guys are. You're coming up with ideas. It's been Florence all along. I mean, it could be. Somebody's a deep cover secret agent. Florence is an evil genius with a talking dog. Okay, so did they leave the van full of their paperwork, incriminating photos, Brink's matte bullion. I don't know what Brinksmat means, but yes, maybe. The ghost of the queen has possessed the witch, which required a human sacrifice. Interesting. Oh, there's so many good ideas. Okay, well, that is good because you can now decide what Leah and Harry get up to next. Do they go to the police? Do they go to the quarry with Florence but refuse to hand her over? Do they go to the quarry without Florence? Do they go to the quarry with Florence and hand her over? Do they hire a car and leave the area? Or do you have another suggestion? I'm going to give you an open ended option here. You can get voting. And then if there are good suggestions from you guys, I will weave them in. So there's 5 options to choose from, or you can choose an option and stick some ideas in, or you can just give me a draft of what you would do. There's a lot of arguing here for Florence being the brains of the operation. So there you go. Get voting. And this increasingly daft story will continue next week. I've been looking at the calendar, and I think what we'll do is we'll do 3 more episodes and wrap up this little adventure so it ties up before Christmas, because I'm then on holiday for a couple of weeks, and then we'll start a new story again, sort of mid-January. So let me know what your votes are. I will put the vote options in the comment bit on the video, because I know that there's a few of them there. And thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget, Lexx Education on a Monday. This is on a Tuesday. Treasure Spot on a Wednesday. And I love you very much. Okay, goodbye.